Hey, Tom. Oh, Lisa. Hello.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm groovy yourself.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm back in.
Yeah, cool. Uh, Going on everything that I've done. Time to simplify. Wonderful. So, where in the world is Lisa? Where's in?
Yeah.
Where are you in the world?
Hi.
Hi. Oh, there's Bally. Hello.
Hello there. Hi.
Hi, Bally.
Good morning. Good afternoon for some of us here. It's
Good
great
afternoon.
having good afternoon. Long time, Wasim. Lovely to see
Yeah.
you.
Lovely to see you too.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's been a while, right?
Yes. Almost 5 years.
Oh,
More.
Wow.
wow. Long time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It's brilliant having you on. It's been a while. So
Thank
we
you,
have
Bally.
beautiful. So we have Liza. Hi there, Liza.
Hi there. Great to see you.
Lovely seeing you, Liza, as always. Always a pleasure. We have Ivan. Hey, Ivan.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Yeah, good to see you.
Also, man, you.
Yeah, it's lovely seeing you. So I'm gonna make Mr. Jairek Robbins co-host. Hey, Chris.
Good morning. Nice to see everybody.
Hey, Chris. Good to see you. He's one of our fellow
Thank you.
performance coaches. Yay. Hey, Paul. We got Paul on. We got
Hello.
Chris on. Christine.
Hi
So,
everyone, it's
hi.
Michael.
We've got Michael
Hi,
from Germany.
I'm in the car, so I'm gonna focus on the street.
Okay, please stay safe. Yeah,
Okay.
fabulous. Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to ask all of you to, most of you got your cameras on, which is fantastic. Brilliant. And yeah, if you can, please have your cameras on and mute yourself and do come off mute when we say so. We do have Mr. Jairek Robbins here, and welcome to all of you here. If it's your first time, these are bi-weekly sessions. My name is Bally Binning, Coach Bally Binning. Amazing having you on. And these run every 2 weeks. So if you're new to these, please come and join with the endeavor to get people up to scratch with AI. That's kind of why these sessions started 2 years ago. So, yeah, I'm pumped that we've got some familiar faces. And like I said, hi, Paul, to you as well. So good to see you. We have got a chat window, so you can obviously go in and, ask questions. So, with further ado, I'm going to go straight in. Before we say that, today we do have number one world-renowned performance coach, best-selling author, business strategist, known for helping individuals, companies achieve high performance with purpose and fulfillment. My dear friend and mentor, Jairek Robbins. Jairek, you are co-host, so over to you.
Hi, how y'all doing? Do I sound normal?
You do.
Yes, you
Oh,
do.
Absolutely.
good, good. I was
What's
worried.
normal?
Every
But
now and then
we'll
I sound like a mouse on helium with a robot voice because I switched through so many different softwares throughout the day. If you see me looking to the side, I have a giant TV screen over here that I can see all your faces about the size of mine, so I don't have to stare at you on a screen that look tiny. So I'm not looking at the wall the whole time. I'm actually watching all of your faces. It's really nice to meet you all and see you all. I'd love to understand how I can be most useful today to you. I've heard this group is fascinated and using AI in different ways. So I would love to hear, how are you currently using it? I maybe 3 or 4 of you could share with me, like how are y'all currently using the tool itself?
I can volunteer. Hi, Jairek. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hi.
I've heard so much about you through Bally and others, and my dear friend Tom Martin, who I know knows you really well. So it's an honor and a privilege to finally meet you. So,
Same.
yeah. So I'm in, I've been in a mastermind as Bally has one with her mentor for about 4 years now, ever since ChatGPT 2.0, I think, launched. And now I'm doing a lot in the Anthropic world. You know, many of us
Cool.
left OpenAI after 5.0 came out, and there's reasons for that we've talked about. So I'm using Claude Code, Claude AI, and Claude Cowork pretty extensively in my business. One of my businesses is to help small to medium-sized law firms use agentic or automations in either their practice or in their admin general running of their business. So, and
Amazing.
you know, legal in particular is a hot spot because of all the, obviously, the data protection, but also more recently, we've got laws in the US and individual states that are really going to require law firms to be far more transparent. It's kind of like, if we're heading in a direction of Sarbanes-Oxley for law firms, and many of them are unprepared, and I want to try to alleviate that strain for them through AI solutions. So I know that's long-winded, but that's it.
No, it's fantastic. I have a bunch of questions, but I want to hear a couple more too. So nice to meet you, Richard. That's fantastic. Cool.
On this slide should have everybody take a second.
Hi, Jairek.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Clearly, are you in Cape Town at the moment?
No, Puerto Rico. But we
okay.
go back and forth between Cape Town and Puerto Rico. We just, I just planned our trip. We're going to be, oh, I hear somebody. Hold on one second. Mute there. I think we're going to be in Cape Town for a couple of weeks in June, and then July we'll be in Tanzania for the month.
Nice.
In August, I think we might go to the Seychelles for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then we're going to go out to Kruger for a week,
Awesome.
and then go back out to Mossel Bay where we're building a house on the reserve out there.
Oh, okay, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, are you down
Lovely.
there?
No, I'm currently in the center of the universe in Coventry, in the UK. But yeah, I'm South African by birth, so I've been there. Have a lot of family
Amazing.
and stuff. So anyway, we can always catch up another time.
Yeah.
My question or my interest really is I've been using it to AI, specifically ChatGPT, for trying to automate and do customer acquisition.
Hvala mi se koji
Hang on. Customer acquisition. So, you know, trying to use it to find my ideal customer, kind of put some of my narrative as to who I am and what I do. I'm a business coach, very similar to yourself. And the other thing that I've been using it for is I've been using Claude with a mixture of a couple of other AIs to actually write a couple of books. I'd be interested in your take on how you're using it to coach and how to use it better to business development, if we can put it that way, lead magnets and all that.
Amazing. Yeah, I'd be happy to share.
Thank you.
Very cool. Amazing. So Richard, Ivan, a couple more.
Yeah, I can volunteer. So I'm Michael. I'm from Germany. Hope you can see me. I'm sitting in the car. I didn't quite make it home for this meeting.
Hi, Michael from Germany.
Thank you. I'm a marketing consultant. I work a lot in the online marketing space. So I use actually OpenAI. I found that quite efficient for me for, you know, strategy support, search engine optimization, keyword search, etc. And I can say it has helped a lot become much more efficient. And of course, you know, formulating strategies in a much, let's say, more precise way. And in almost, much more efficient time, basically.
Amazing.
That's yeah.
Okay, cool.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see you, Jairek. It's been a while. I was a PCU student a couple of years back. Anyways, Chris Backerberg. I'm actually located in Albuquerque, New Mexico, born and raised in Bermuda. And just to add to the flavor, my parents are both Springboks. and I know South Africa well. I grew up playing rugby and cricket. It's all I know. And the
There you
funny
go.
story is rugby and cricket still have the lessons I learned on the field and on the pitch still show up every day. Anyways, I'm a realtor here in Albuquerque. I went back to PCU. I was a therapist for many years, started in the world of addictions. And then in the early 90s, jumped into executive coaching when it was sort of emerging where I was, and loved the premises and thought it would be good to retool through your course, Jairek, which is what I've done. So to jump in AI, I'm using it in three capacities. The first one, I'm working on a book, maybe a documentary around coaching, like a big sort of macro look at coaching, what it is, where it came from, how it works. And it's built around I have a master's degree in eco psychology, and it's around what I call retuning, and I sort of analogize it to tuning an instrument to play in an orchestra in a theater for production. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. It's a big ecosystem, so I like that. I'm playing with that a lot. And Perplexity Pro and Notebook LM are my two primaries. Love
Amazing.
them. The other thing in real estate, like law, I guess, has been bombarded by AI, like bombarded, and it's completely automated to the point of dangerous, I think, but each to their own. Everybody's got to do what they do. I'm using it specifically to farm neighborhoods, to look into real estate transactions, to get into buyers and sellers' experiences and seeing how I can better come into the neighborhood and really understand more about who's living there, what they need, what they want, and how I can help. And AI just crunches data so quickly that I look like a whiz kid to them. But the truth is that everybody has access to the same information. And my business is sort of booming through just its ability to improve my confidence and my competence and my ability to have real estate conversations. And then Notebook LM is its ability to illustrate and give people, instead of raw data, you give them pictures of things, pretty pictures, my dad used to say. They love it. They love it. And it's a really handy way of doing that. And then the last thing we're working on, I was invited to join a team. We are in the early stages of producing a TV sitcom along the lines of Suits and some others, really aimed at what really goes on in the world of real estate between buyers, sellers, lenders, title, because there are stories that are, you can't make it up. Like you cannot make some of this stuff up. And so the team is using AI really to help us develop a system of capturing information, running through it, and then not having to go back. Where was that? Press a button and there it is. That's the conversation. So in a nutshell, sorry, I went on and on too, but
amazing. Chris, thank you. And good to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
I'm going to do something real quick because I've noticed this happens. We volunteer at the Maasai Girls Rescue Center in Tanzania each year. And what I've noticed for some reason, and I think I have a hunch why that we'll go through in a presentation in a few moments. But gentlemen, thank you for sharing. I'm thrilled to hear what you were up to. Liza, Christine, Sue, Sam, what are y'all up to with AI?
I can say that I have found it very useful because I can't organize ideas, but I have a million of them. So when I walk, I record all my stuff. And then when I have 15 pages, I put it in the AI to create the program and the YouTube episodes to go in, because I'm a stress management coach and healer. So I help people release their fears so they can move forward in their projects.
Incredible. That's a great use. Very, very cool. Sue, how about yourself?
So I have just developed my website using AI. I thought I'd sort of take a little bit of a chance and see how it goes. It wasn't easy. When you want something specific, lots of mistakes, lots of errors, working on the SEO, but it seems to have come to light. So I use it all the time, but I've used it specifically for that, and it's actually been quite successful. But you do need a bit of tech background, I'd say.
Of course. Amazing. Thank you, Christine and Sam. Kathy, nice to see you. What are you using AI for?
Jairek, I've been using it in terms of writing. What else? I'm about to do a podcast, so I've been using it just for everything. It's like I'm so grateful for Bally because she really introduced us to a whole new realm. And I'm finding that even though I don't know that much about it, I just set up a one-on-one with her for next week because I'm finding that for most people, it's like speaking a whole nother language. I mean, like you're using it for what? And they're treating it like people treated the internet when it first came out, like it's the devil. I mean, it's
Yep.
like, oh no, you can't. And I mean, some pretty prominent people that, I was thinking, well, don't you use it? I didn't say that, but I'm thinking, you're not using it.
Mhm.
So yeah, so
Amazing.
stuff like that.
I love it. Sam, how about you? Thank you,
Hi.
Kathy.
Hi, Jared. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Bally, for inviting me. So I have two jobs. I'm a therapist, and I started a tech business where I build agentic AI, and I use make.com. But I basically I'm going into coaching, and I'm developing a plan because within my therapy practice, I realized when I'm in clinic, I can't take calls. Every missed call is missed income and opportunity. And so I developed my own voice agent that handles all my incoming calls, all my bookings. So within the first week, I realized, oh my God, it's a life changer. And then creating chatbots and having that on my website, making it a very smart website, it's already increased my income. And so I thought, okay, I've got all the experience of how to run a therapy practice, also the tech, how to use in the sector and implement it. So now I'm developing a course for wellness practice owners on how to do the same in their own practice and use tech. And Claude just went next level. So I spent the whole morning watching videos on how do you use Claude. That's mind blowing.
Amazing. I love that, Sam. Congratulations. I really love that. So I'm hearing that y'all are pretty advanced on this stuff and you're doing some really cool things for yourself, for businesses, for learning, for content aggregation, for gathering info, for preparing. You're doing so many amazing things. I'd love to hear, just so I steer myself right, because I have a little bit of a presentation I want to share with you of how I see AI coming into the world and what I think a very unique thread is that's happening, just to hear your feedback on it. And then I'd love to know, maybe from one or two of you, what's something, or I'll do this at the end. After I share, I'll stop with at least ideally 10 or 15 minutes left. And if there's anything that you want my opinion for what it's worth on this, I'm as new as you are to the AI world. I'd be happy to share. Keith says, I use AI daily for business and personal life, lately creating content for my latest projects, which is writing my first book and podcast that had on hold since last year. Congratulations, Keith. That's wonderful. I love that. Very, very cool. So I'm going to do a little soapboxing for a second, if that's okay, and just give you something I see going on in the world that might be a major opportunity and hear your feedback on it. So correct me if I'm wrong. How long has Earth been around? Someone told me it's like 4.6 billion years, the planet, give or take. So, someone pull up ChatGPT and check for me. How long is the Earth, the giant ball flying through space with all of a 6,500 years? Okay, I think more than that because humans.
It's more than that. If you would.
Yeah, humans have been around 300,000.
Yeah.
So humans in modern form, the way we go about, there's pre-us humans, but humans in modern form, we've been around for 300,000 years. So I'm going to take a stab and I'm just going to guess and say Earth, the planet itself, the physicalness of it, let's call it 4.6 billion years. Then let's say humans, modern form, all of us, 300,000 years. And then someone take 4.5 billion years. I was wrong. Thank you, Richard. 4.54 billion years. So 4.5 billion years the Earth has been around, 300,000 years humans in modern form. How long has the modern day workplace? You report to an office 5 days a week from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. How long has that been going on? Anyone know? 100 years to the year. So 100 years ago, this factory concept of we show up, we work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., 5 days a week, 2 days off, and that's how we've always done it. Now, how many of you, when I say it's a 5-day work week, 9 to 5, your brain goes, well, of course, that's how it's always been done. How many of you have that experience? I do. When someone says, 9 to 5, we go to an office 5 days a week. Well, of course, that's just how it always has been. The statement of that's how it's always been is 100 years old. Out of 300,000 years of humans and 4.6 billion years of Earth. So when I learned that, my brain went, hey, wait a minute. We've been running an experiment for 100 years. And this isn't how it's always been. For the far majority of history, this has never been like this. And then I went back and said, well, wait a minute. Who came up with the idea and who was in the committee and how did they come up with this? And what I learned was this was built on a circadian rhythm, which if anyone here study hormones, I heard some therapists and some coaches, anyone into like hormones? Yeah. Whose hormones resets every 24 hours? Sam, whose hormones reset every 24 hours? Do you know?
I would say pretty much everybody.
Close. Men's hormones reset every 24 hours. Circadian, so the men's hormones reset every 24 hours, right? Does anyone know what the word is that women's hormones reset with? There's a circadian rhythm and then there's it starts with an IN, infradian rhythm. Do you know how many days it takes for a female's hormones to fully reset? Now, I'll put an asterisk. This is important. It's different for every one of them. Important asterisks we all should know.
30?
Give or take 28 to 40 days. So every 28 to 40 days, if a woman's hormones do a full cycle through 4 different stages. Now, those of you who are like, okay, Jairek, what the heck does this have to do with AI? I'll show you in a minute. Every roughly 28 to 40 days, a woman's hormones goes through 4 different stages and it resets. Now, I'm going to ask women only for a quick second here. How many of you ever have had the glorious experience of waking up one day and on one day before 9 a.m., my gosh, you probably ran a triathlon, built a business, discovered something new, raised 7 children. You conquered Earth before your male counterpart, my God, has even tried to open his damn eyes. How many of you as women have ever had a day like that, where you woke up and you conquered Earth twice before anyone else was even aware that things were going on, right? Now, let me ask you a silly question. How many of you 5 days later woke up with the same intention to conquer Earth because you've done it before, and you woke up to a chemistry set called you that your hormones drove off the edge of a cliff, your progesterone and estrogen flatlined, you know, with the beep, 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 and then it goes beep, like it flatlines. Your progesterone and estrogen, beep, flatline, goes straight to the ground. By 10x, they fall. 10x is how much they move. And you wake up with the intention of conquering Earth, and your body is the equivalent of going in your car and putting the brake on fully, and your body goes, I'm not moving. How many of you have had this beautiful experience? But your brain is screaming, go! Now's my moment. This is when I planned it. Today, it's Tuesday. I'm supposed to get this done. What's wrong with me? And it's the equivalent of sitting in your garage with the brake fully applied and the gas pedal mentally fully down and your engine's going, but your body ain't moving. And that what I call stress. You're stressing the engine. because your brake hormonally has been fully put on. Your body's not going anywhere, but your mind is screaming, I did it last week. What's wrong with me? Go, go, go. And you're frustrated that it ain't moving. And my wife describes this as pushing a boulder up a hill. How many of you have had this experience? Have you experienced this? Yeah. Now, gentlemen, some of you are distinguished enough, I'm noticing by the gray hair, that I also have some of, but not as much yet. I'm earning mine, I've heard. How many of you have noticed from the age of 20 years old, for those of you who've reached the wise age and distinguished age of 50, that you are a different version of yourself at this stage of life? How many of you would say you've changed somewhat? And tell me, what's changed, gentlemen? How many of you at 20 years old decided that you can run through 7 brick walls if you wanted to? And you could probably jump over all of them. And then you could probably conquer Earth and back. Like, you have testosterone that gives you something that is irreplaceable. And as you've gotten older, we call it wisdom and being more distinguished. But as your testosterone shifts by 20% between the age of 20 to 50, there's a 30% adjustment in testosterone. But over 30 years, it gradually adjusts itself by 20%. That you're a different version of yourself. You might not have as much intensity with you. You might not have as much energy. You might not have as much drive. Have anyone experienced that, guys? Have you, can I get a hand if you've experienced that? There you go. It's totally natural. So here's what's wild. A woman's testosterone in the 4 cycles, roughly 28 to 40 days. Remember, a gentleman's testosterone over 30 years adjusts by 20%, and he feels like a different version of himself. A woman's testosterone moves by 25x every 4 weeks. Guys, we talk about, well, I'm a different version of myself. And it took us 30 years to gradually adjust. And then we just don't feel like ourselves anymore. Ladies, every 28 to 40 days, give or take, you go through the full experience. It takes that dude 30 years to get through. Y'all know it from physical experience. One day you wake up and you can conquer Earth. The next day you go, what the hell? My brake's on, but my mind's screaming run, and I ain't running. I don't know what just happened. I'll pause. Can I get a raise of hands if you're learning something? Good. I hope this is interesting. I'll get to AI in just a second. So as I started researching all this stuff, my mind was quite literally blown. Because then I came back to how the modern day workplace was built. Ladies, was it built to represent a 28 to 40 day cycle that at some points you can conquer Earth and at other points you actually need to rest and stop forcing yourself to do something that ain't going to happen on that day? And then feeling this thing called imposter syndrome when you can't happen to get it done on that day. And why could I do it yesterday, but not all this stuff? It was never built to honor that. Here's where AI comes in. Jamie Dimon, if you've heard of him, the guy from Chase, the bank, he said, there's a strong probability that AI might create the opportunity to have something called the 3-day work week. And within 3 days, with the proper AI solutions set up, we can produce the same output as we used to produce in 5 to 7 days. And my brain lit up and said, wait a minute. We've run a 100-year experiment that has caused women to choose the bear. For those of you, bless you, who are familiar with pop culture, there was a study that went, or a survey that went out online in America, and it asked women, if you were stuck in the woods, would you choose to be stuck with a man or a bear? And the far majority of women in the United States said, at this point in history, I choose the bear. And men lost their minds over this. Are you kidding? Are you ridiculous? A bear would kill you. You wouldn't last 7 seconds with a bear. And the women said, based on how I'm feeling right now, I'd rather be stuck with a bear than have to deal with a man in today's world. And I have a weird feeling that's a reflection of 100 years trying to force ourselves into an environment that was never built to support the natural rhythms y'all go through. And ladies, you own 42% of the businesses in the United States. I apologize, I don't know the world facts, but I know the US. You own 42% of the businesses in the United States. You are 47% of the entire workforce. So nearly half of the entire team is trying to force themselves to fit into a system that was never built to honor or support them. I've never been the human that says, let's burn it down. That's never been my mantra or my thought process. But after learning this, I've had a chip on my shoulder. I don't think we need to burn it down. I do think we need to rebuild it. I think we need to reset the concept, and we need to figure out how to become aware and in tune with the natural rhythms is step one. How do we become aware of where we're even at every day, every week, every month? Once we become aware of where the natural rhythms are occurring, how do we start to reset what work looks like day to day, week to week, that starts to give us the ability to honor 50% of our team? Because if I was on a team and everything the team did only helped the other half of the team and never took me into account or asked what I might need support with, I'd choose the damn bear too over enough time. I get it. Part of this was sparked because someone very close to me, who was another mom to me, my grandma died recently, and she worked the far majority of her life for 40 years. I grew up with her. She put me in a suit when I was 5. She taught me the sales presentation when I was little. She took me on appointments with her. So I worked with my grandma for many, many years. She was a major pillar in my life. And I remember countless times her coming home in tears because of some jerk that did something or said something or something like that. And so I grew up with a little bit of a tender spot for my grandma, going, why does she keep getting hurt? Why does this keep happening? I always had that. I didn't know what to do about it, but I always had it. Fast forward, when I started researching into this stuff, I said, my gosh, I need to figure out some solution. Now, with AI, there's the ability to learn stuff at a rapid pace. You have to fact check 1,000,000 times because you can't just trust a first output. But luckily, there's some research done on these topics, and we've been compiling research on our side. We've been gathering data and information and saying, could we create some type of algorithm? Could we create some type of pulse? Something that a woman could use, a professional, driven, type A woman who's accomplishing a lot and going places and doing things, who wears many hats. How many, for those of you women on here, how many of you wear many hats? You might be a mom, a spouse, a business owner, you all, an AI, like you got 7, 10, 12 hats you wear throughout every 24 hours, right? It's unbelievable what y'all do. And so I said, could we create something that gives feedback and insight to tell them where they're at in the 4 cycles and how best to approach it? And so I'd ask, would it be okay if I show you I asked my wife, she said it's okay, but would it be okay if I show you my wife's report for the day so you could see what it looks like? Is that useful? So here's what we built with AI. We built this. Every morning, my wife and I go in and we log this. And men, I'll tell you how this is important to you. So we log in and it says, okay, where are we at? 0 to 10, where's our energy? Today she said 10. How confident are you feeling? 10. How'd you sleep? She goes 10. How's your stress? She said probably a 2. And then we go, done. That's it. That's our job for the day. Now, when we set it up, we came in here and we had to tell it We're going to track our cycle for those of us who are still tracking cycles. Yes. Ours is roughly 28 days, and we picked roughly what day it was on. We connect our calendar so that it can look at the week ahead and help plan what days we should be doing what things. Like you're going to be peaking. That's a day you should plan your big presentation, pitch, sales meeting, your going out stuff. That day your hormones fall off a cliff. Do not do any social outings. You're not going to perform. You can connect your Whoop and Aura Ring. Garmin's coming soon. You can choose light mode, dark mode, blah, blah, blah. But then we come back here and we say, okay, let's take a peek. We have this really crafty little Dot lady. It's our character. Her name's Dot. She's writing a brief for us real quick on how we can approach our day. But we know for where my wife's at, she's in the rise phase. 13 days of her cycle. She should be doing straight training today. Nutrition, fresh salads. Here's what she should be eating. Energy-wise, here's how she's doing. But let's go talk to Dot real quick and find out what Dot's going to give us insight. I'll read it. Let me make it bigger. There we go. So Dot says she's in rise. Your brain just got a fresh software update. Estrogen is climbing and bringing your energy, creativity, and optimism with it. This is your inner springtime, and everything feels a little more possible. Use this momentum to plant seeds for what you want to grow. Dot, what should we be doing with work and productivity today? Well, your brain is hungry for novelty and is forming new neural connections faster. Do this. Brainstorming sessions, learning new skills, starting projects, creative work. Skip this. No repetitive admin tasks, no detailed editing, no routine maintenance. We'll waste our energy on stuff that we don't need to do. What about fitness and movement? Rising estrogen means faster muscle recovery and higher pain tolerance. Try this. New workout classes, increase intensity, strength training, and cardio. Skip this. Only gentle exercise. Your body can handle more now. What about nutrition? Well, do this. Well, we're adding a piece where you can pick your dietary preferences of what you do or don't eat, so it customizes. But right now it's a little open, so it says fresh salads, fermented foods, lean proteins, colorful veggies. Skip this. Heavy comfort foods, excess carbs, or skipping proteins. What about relationship? Do this. Networking, first dates, team collaborative, making new connections. Skip this. Isolation, avoiding social opportunities, and playing small. And did you know during the follicular phase, your hippocampus memory center actually increases in volume? You literally have more brain capacity right now. Is that useful to know? Is that helpful information? We think it is. I'll tell you this. I've learned more about my wife in the last 15 days than I have in the last 14 days of knowing her. Because there are certain days where I didn't realize her brake was fully put on and her mind was telling her to go when her body was telling her I'm not moving. And I didn't realize the natural stress was rising in her body, which was creating tension, which often would cause sparks with us. And she would say, I would say something and she'd go, ugh. I'm like, what is the ugh about? I didn't do anything wrong. Why am I getting that response? And then I learned that's the day her estrogen and progesterone fell off a cliff. Her testosterone was sliding. She wanted to do a million things, but inside she was feeling like she was dragging. She was in tension with herself all day, much less anything I did like breathe. It's just the concept of, oh my gosh, I didn't know she was going through that. And here's what's wild. She told me, I didn't know I was going through that either. And as we've started to learn this together, it's been quite the experience. Now, I presented this to a group of ladies, and they said, well, honey, I've already gone through menopause. This doesn't apply to me. And I researched, no. Just because that part changes doesn't mean the hormones don't fluctuate. When we're younger, the hormones might go floor to ceiling. After menopause, they start to get tighter. The rhythm is not as high and low, but they're still fluctuating. So it's worth checking. In the future, I want to get connected to some of the companies that do the blood labs and the Dutch test so that we can get like real data and give pinpoint accuracy for where we're at. Right now, we're doing personal inputs. And then we're doing rough estimates, and we're helping use self-tracking to get there. And then we're starting to dial into Whoop and Aura so we can get actual biological feedback from the measurements of body temperature and other things that they're pulling off of the data. So we're getting close, but we'll continue to get more and more accurate in the future. Here's what's happened. I have a client of mine, him and his wife own 4 different businesses. And what's wild is he works with his wife. He has 2 daughters. His head chef is a woman. His delivery driver is a woman. His first question to me was, can I get a bulk discount if I buy this for everyone in my life? I need a pulse on how my chef is doing, my driver's doing, my wife is doing, my 2 daughters are doing. I want to know real time how everyone's fluctuating in my life so I know how to show up. I like, this is a smart man. And I said, I don't know. I haven't figured out group pricing yet, but I'll figure it out for Dean. The other thing that happened that I found fascinating was if we could get a pulse on where we're at, and 50% of our team, we can now start to rebuild the structure of our weeks to honor and support the natural rhythms of their body. Could we then build AI with the purpose of making up the difference of the work itself? Could the purpose of AI be filling in the gaps that release the responsibility from 47% of the team so that the team could then reallocate those days and times to honor the natural rhythms? I think that would be cool. And it's already been proven. If you invest money into both a male and female startups earn 2.5x those of their male counterparts. Because on the days when women are on their A game, now I apologize, I'm going to hurt a lot of feelings right now. It's 2 to 3 days a month, ladies, is what the 2 to 3 days a month, you can conquer Earth. Like, you have unbelievable superpowers that male counterparts can't get anywhere close to for 2 to 3 days. I told my wife that, and she had a tear in her eye. She's like, how come I only get 2 or 3 a month? I was like, I don't know. I didn't make us. I'm learning through measurement and science, not through opinions. And here's what's wild. If we can use those superpowers on the right days, I think you'll accomplish as much, if not more, than you did trying to do it the rest of the days. And it doesn't mean you only work 2 to 3 days a month. It just means we start to honor the rhythms on those other days. And we're more strategic about what we place or adjust on the calendar to reflect and honor and support the natural rhythms of your body. I'm going to stop for a second. Is this useful info? Am I barking up the right tree? Am I going the right direction with this one? Yeah. Do you think we have a chance to help a lot of people in society reconnect and understand each other? I hope we have the ability to help people like my wife, who's an incredible human that I love to the ends of the earth. I want her to better understand herself. I want to better understand her. And I want to know how I can love and support her. One of the other features we're going to build in is the ability, a share toggle. You can turn it on or off if you want. For personal trainers, do you know there's certain days of the month that if you do the same workout, you will build muscle? And on a different day, you do the same workout, you will actually deplete your muscle? And most personal trainers have no clue which day you should be doing what. They're trained professionals. I saw somewhere in here, this would be useful for female clients. Share with your therapist. Hey, here's where I'm at in my cycle. I might be filtering life slightly different this week than last week. Help me work through it and understand myself better. That would be very helpful. What about your doctor? I mean, ladies, when you go see your doctor, I've heard the majority of gynecologists are men for some reason. I don't know how that happened, but when you go see your doctor, are they aware of all the natural cycles and rhythms of your body? And are they kept in the loop of exactly how you've been moving through this stuff so they can give you a proper diagnosis? No, I think they missed that one as well. Like, my gosh. And then what about your significant others, your spouse, your family? And I told this, and a guy said, is it going to say bring tacos, don't ask? And I was like, that's cute, but no, that'll piss off every woman on earth. What it will say is a little mini questionnaire that says, what would you most want or need in this phase? Now that you've been through the cycle a few times, when you're in phase 1, rise, when your energy's going, what would you most want or need from someone in your life? And you can list out exactly what you uniquely would want in that moment. And then there's a little button. You can toggle it on, and that person will get the alert 2 days before you enter and say, hey, she's about to enter this stage. Here's some things that really would ring her bell. This would rock her world if you did these things for her during this part of the phase. I was like, I think that'll set us up to win. Gentlemen, how many of you would love to know that about your partner? I sure as heck would. I want to know if she wants tacos. Tell me she wants tacos. I will go to the ends of the earth to find the right tacos for her on those days if that's what she's into. Tell me what she needs to make her feel loved, seen, supported, and understood on those times, and I will deliver. I just need to know. And sometimes if she's not aware and then I'm not aware and we walk into the same room without knowing, oof. But if she takes a little time to capture a few notes and turns on the share toggle, I'll get alerted of things she'd most need or want in that period. I'll have a chance to go deliver for her. Huge opportunity for us. Like with any AI, imagine this information got on the dating services. Eesh. So this is the number one thing I've learned from the people that I've learned from. Security is going to be the most important thing on this. And so I have luckily in a place in life where I'm not hungry for money. That's not the thing that does it for me. And so the competitor apps, there's a few of them, but one of the big ones is Flow. Flow is a period tracking app that helps with understanding fertility and birth and all those things. Has 377 million downloads, I think 10 million active users. And they got into a whole heap of trouble because they decided at some point it was a good idea to share data with Meta. And I don't think that's cool at all. And so we're going to take a hard no on sharing data. We're going to take a hard yes on repetitively building the strongest security infrastructure as humanly possible. And we're going to be willing to say no to any of the money or checks along the way that ask us to violate that for any reason whatsoever. I'd love to be known as the most secure and the group that says the most no's, because we're not going to let money sway if we share this kind of data with anybody. That's going to be our take. And luckily we're in a good place financially, so it's not going to be that reason that'll cause us to sway either way. And that's the goal. Can we protect it? Can we really, really protect it? You're speaking into the biggest question I have. How do we as a community attend to the chronic inflammation present in micro and macro levels from individual community to regions? Yeah, these are big issues. And so when I step back, I originally built my AI, Executive Office AI, which is a C-suite of advisors. So think CEO, CFO, CMO, that kind of stuff. It APIs directly into QuickBooks and Xero, APIs in the Pipedrive and HubSpot, so that it can give you the, call it 800,000 a year C-suite, that when you're a business that does 800,000 a year in total revenue, you can't afford. You don't spend all of your revenue on employees to help you do better. That's silly. And so could we create a C-suite of brains that plugs into all of your stuff in business, all your other services and softwares, that then analyzes it at the level of a $200,000 a year CMO, $180,000 a year CFO with that? Can we give you that kind of feedback and guidance for $500 a month? That was the first build we did. That's up and running and solid. We love it. Then when agents came out, our next was, well, wait a minute. We can think at that level. Can we do stuff too? Our hands agents, can we get tasks done? And so our current mission has been, can I help a client of mine who owns 4 food businesses in Louisiana figure out what his 10 to 20 hour a week bottleneck is that's soaking up all his time, which was food cost management. He was logging into 5 different softwares, pulling prices from one, logging in another, doing all this different work. Can I create an agent flow that automatically does that to get him back 18 hours a week of his time so he can go spend it at the gym with his wife, with his daughters. And it's working. We've been able to get that off his plate using automation and AI process, which I think Richard's doing for law firms. But that whole concept of, can we get that process to get them back their 15, 20 hours a week? And that's what we've been building with the AI software for businesses. But then I stumbled upon all the research around women and said, you know what? I think I'm going to specialize a bit on women run and own businesses to see if we can get them on our app where they can better look at their rhythms. And then when we find what their rhythms are, start to use AI to take stuff off of their plate so that they can then use their calendar to honor their natural rhythms. And I think if we do that right, there's going to be a lot of healing and a lot of opportunity to support, 47% of the workforce and 42% of all business owners in the entire country of the US, much less the world. I saw a few stats of the UK go up there too. So I think we're going to focus a bit. Guys, I'm not excluding us. I'm a guy. I'm a team guy too. So always here to help on that side. And if that's of interest, I've noticed for some reason though, and tell me if I'm wrong, with Claudebot and OpenAI and Claude coding, it seems like the male brain globally has been activated as if giving my 5-year-old son Legos for the first time and he can build stuff. And I've watched every dude on earth turn into a builder. Gentlemen, has this been true for you? Certainly for my brain, I've been like, 2 a.m., I bet I could build that. And my wife's like, go to sleep. I'm like, but I think I could get it done in like an hour if I really try. So I've built, I think, 7 different softwares so far. And I got too many distractions and I was like, okay, what did I know about business? Niche, focus, find a real problem, deliver a real solution. Problem is worth $1, solution's worth 1,000. If I can do that properly, for every dollar invested, we give them 1,000x ROI. That's how business works. Okay, cool. Hyper focus and figure out where the need is and let's go drive. So I had to cut back on all my other softwares I built, even though I think they're very cool, and only focus on, we're going to focus on PeakHer and then Executive Office AI. Those are our 2 focuses. I promised I would stop with 10 minutes left to open a discussion. And I'd love to hear, what did you hear? Anything useful in there?
Jairek, I heard lots of stuff and really, really pleased to hear you talking about older indigenous cultures would be listening to you going, are we seriously having to talk about this? And in many ways is how do you bring that into this? And I love that because you can't just stop doing that. We have to bring that into this. And as usual, as I've heard you speak before, you're great at identifying the problem. You're even better at going to now let's talk solution. Whether it's an individual, a company, a region, a community, I mean, you've really triggered part of me that recognizes it, and I applaud you on that. And would love to be part of anything you have going forward as you sort of spread this out and feedback for others. But I know it's that whole idea of inflammation, the leading cause of stress, death, and irritation, like whether it's cancer or 2 countries going after each other. I call it inflammation, and ecosystems collapse with too much inflammation. So what's the answer? Reduce the inflammation. How do you do that? Swim better, folks. Easier said than done. So anyways, that's great. I'm really pleased I got a chance to hear you this morning. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris. I think it was Tom. Hi, Tom.
Yeah, hey Jairek, great to see you, man. I love your presentation. You're making points I've never heard anywhere else. The history of our Earth and, understanding my wife, things like this, like amazing. So thank you very much. I love it. Coming from a news background, so often I see these headlines like, "Oh, AI means the end of mankind," and Armageddon and all of that. And I love that you're showing us a very constructive path that super useful. And if this question doesn't take things off on a tangent, which I hope it doesn't, but you say there'll be, if somebody has a team of 10 people, well, now I really only need 2 or something like that. What are some of the human qualities that you think, we can bring to our AI experience? I mean, I love that you're writing for Substack now and your LinkedIn newsletter and so on. And I've been doing some writing like that, also that collaboration. But I'm just curious what those human qualities that we will always need to bring to the mix,
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up. So you're seeing the headlines, 10,000 employees let go, 30,000 employees let go. People saying, I'm going to remove 30% of my team. And they're so proud of what they're saying. Here's what I believe about humans and the relationship that exists when people come and choose to work with you. It's a relationship. It's a relationship. And so if I have a relationship with 10,000 humans, which is a blessing in itself to know that many people and the opportunity to connect, and some new cool idea comes about. I'll use the example of NFTs. Does everyone remember the future of art? And Justin Bieber buying a $2.9 million Bored Ape card because that was going to be worth billions in the future. Yeah, it turned out it wasn't, or isn't yet. It might be, I don't know, but not yet. And if the company would have fired 10,000 people and broken a sacred bond of a relationship with all those people because something new and exciting showed up, and then it turns out something new and exciting wasn't working like they thought it would. So Salesforce did this. They fired a bunch of people. Then they had to hire back a bunch of those people. Now, if I'm in a relationship with someone who just dumped me and then decided next week, oh no, I can't live without you, and they're trying to get me back, I don't think that's a really healthy relationship. I think there's some issues under the rug going on there that we need to become aware of. And I saw this quote. It said, when you stop looking at Mother Earth as a resource to extract from, and instead a relationship to have and honor, your entire experience of nature changes. And my instant thought was the same thing happens when you change your perspective with your team. They're not a group of humans to extract from. They're a relationship you're building with human beings, with the opportunity of building something together that could not have been built on your own. To honor that relationship with those people and ask a different question. What tools could I give you access to that would better support who you are and what you're accomplishing with us together? I think it's radically stupid and incredibly short-sighted, the people that are saying, I'm going to fire 30% of my team because NFTs just came out and that's clearly the future. Who knows? It might be, it might not. But I take a hard line in the sand, say absolutely not. You should be finding a way to augment and support them. I'm teaching a webinar this Thursday on how to pair up your team members with specific AI solutions to give your bookkeeper plus a CFO AI the ability to become a CFO level analysis for you, to give your assistant plus a chief of staff, and all of a sudden they can be your 200,000 a year chief of staff. My thought is, instead of reducing, why don't we give them superpowers and allow them to produce more? Now, people give me pushback. Well, that's not fair for the employee because now you're going to expect 10 times the output for the same pay. That's not good. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, can I give you superpowers so you can now do things that if you really believe in the work you're doing, you can reach more people with it and be even more effective with it. If you're a doctor, you might be able to heal more people. If you're a deli owner, you might be able to feed more of your community. If you're a dentist, you might be able to keep more teeth clean with this. It's the ability that if you're doing something you're proud of, that you really believe the world needs more of, that you can deliver more of the great service you provide with the empowerment of AI superpowers combined with humans. That's my take.
Wow, it's really great. Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Richard.
Yeah, I love that question, Tom, because AI can be used, unfortunately, to kind of modify our reactions, our interactions to people based on NLP and all these other pieces, which is really disingenuous and ultimately can be counterproductive. My question is twofold. One is I can see the obvious application in my particular pursuit because I focus on female-led law firms and female partners, and I think it would be not insightful for me necessarily, but insightful for them because they often operate on schedules. They have appearances in court, they have all these things. It would be incredibly valuable to know where within their cycle that happens to be. I think they inherently know because, women are just incredible, phenomenal, intuitive humans. We men are so lacking in that respect. But the flip side of that is not to ignore guys, because when I've listened to you throughout all of this, I think what occurred to me was, are we men stuck on that proverbial, rotating wheel like a mouse where every day is kind of like, Bill Murray's Groundhog Day? Is that what men are reduced to? How can we use this data, or can we use this data to better understand ourselves? And to obviously, in addition to understanding our spouses, which I'm really keenly interested in.
Absolutely. I love that statement. That's been part of my business for the last 20 years. And I'd say probably more the last 7 years, where the tech that's come out, when I work with male business owners, the very first thing we do is get them a Whoop. We start monitoring their sleep. We get them a Muse to start monitoring their brain waves every morning. And we start tracking. I have them go get their blood labs done to find out what's going on in their physical body. And we start dialing in the chemistry of their body to get them to a place where they perform better. And so that's been my focus. And that's predominantly male business owners, is how do we dial in all the biometrics of who you are? Because you can tell me I'm super healthy. That's great. Go get your blood labs done. Let me see what your oil looks like. Like if I don't know what the engine looks like from blood labs and doctor analysis, who knows if you're healthy or not? I've seen all kinds of ailments happen in people that look healthy and have abs, and they land up on bed rest because they burn out their adrenals. So that's been my research, and absolutely it's helpful. And so that's where I said, I'm still team guy. I have all that for us. And for any guys, I have all the contacts. If you want to go get your blood labs done and figure out where your levels are and how to dial that in, I have a whole team of specialists that I work with, and I've been doing that for many years. This is just interesting to me because we used to treat women the same. You're a female business owner, high performance, great. Go get your blood labs done. We'll look at how your hormones are doing. We'll figure out your rhythms. And then this is what I learned recently. Every time management planner, every course on all this stuff, everything was written based on a circadian rhythm of a 24-hour reset. So there's no materials even written for women that show them how to honor this natural rhythm of their body. There's no time management system that's built on this. None. And so how in the world do we navigate something that has no manual or no insight? And there's no insight. There's plenty of women who've navigated it. But then you hear stuff of, I talked to a woman who's a New York City private equity lady who has a podcast. And she said, hey, when I started to burn out, I just realized my testosterone was dropping. So I went and got the tablets to get my testosterone jacked up so that I could just keep hammering through it. I was like, wow, that's what they're doing. They're saying, I'm not performing at my best and I'm starting to feel wonky. So pump in more hormones that make me go, and that'll just go. That's like going to your car and pumping in the nitrous oxide because it makes it go faster. It also breaks it when you go too fast, too hard, too long like that. And the same thing happens. When women experience burnout at that level, their male counterpart can go to a place called Miamo or Lanzerhof in Germany, and within 7 to 14 days, completely rejuvenate and get back to full speed. When women try to rejuvenate and they burn, they're gone. They have not been able to pull them all the way back yet. And so I'm learning there's differences. I'm absolutely, if you're a gentleman and you want that kind of support, ping me. I'll connect you with all of our docs and all the people we use and dial you in. Happy to do it. And then for women, we're just, for me, it's a new frontier of learning of wow, we need to start thinking through how to rebuild this to actually support it. If it's okay, I'd love to invite you to a webinar this Thursday I'm doing. It's built on the concept of, can we take a team of 5, pair them up with AI, and have them give superpowers to produce at the level of a team of 50? At the end of that, I'm going to invite you, if you're interested, to come to a live event I'm doing, which is June 2nd and 3rd in San Juan, Puerto Rico, where we're going to take small business owners and help them turn on workflows like Richard does, turn on those workflows to get back 5 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours a week of busy work. So Bally will have links for both the webinar on Thursday, and then also she'll have a link for the event in June 2nd and 3rd. I'd love to invite you all. It has the pricing and all that jazz. And then Suba. Is it Suba?
Yeah, Shubha only. Yeah, thank you for the incredible sessions. As I'm joining late, I have quick run out of time. Sorry for that. And the quick question is, I'm coming from the software development background. So
Amazing.
yeah, what's the best way to get started with the AI agents in real projects? Like, what are the technical skills should we focus on, like APIs or prompt engineering, like that? And also, my biggest curiosity of question is how the AI agents, like typically integrated with existing enterprise systems without impacting the main performance or the reliability.
Amazing. So from a technical perspective, I've learned, apologize in advance for misterming anything. I am a full stack AI solution provider. And what we looked at is if you build everything on one AI enterprise frontier model. So if I build everything on OpenAI or everything on Claude, here's what we've learned through research is every one of the frontier models, Perplexity, OpenAI, Claude, any of these, they're all really, really good at something and average or not good at other things. So OpenAI is great at math. Claude's great at logic, reasoning, and storytelling. Perplexity is incredible at research. Each one has its strengths. So to build an entire company on one, you're going to get the strengths, but now you're limited on the weaknesses of that one model. So my thought was, let's build a full stack solution that has WebSockets and API access to all of them, that has the ability for each of their strengths to do the thing that they're good at. So that was number one. Number two, second mistake people are making is they're going all in on one company itself. 68.6% of small businesses fail in 10 years. 82% of those cite that cash flow was the reason they went out of business. If you go look at the financial reportings of all the big frontier models, all of them are hemorrhaging cash right now. Okay. The likelihood that all of them are going to successfully thread 10 years and perfectly make it to the other side is thin. 68% of them should disappear on average. If you build all of your company's infrastructure on one of them, and it happens to be the unlucky one, everything you spent 5 years or 10 years building instantly vanishes. Because when a company runs out of cash, they don't give you a 90-day window to properly migrate your information. They die. They're gone. It turns off, and everything you built is gone. So number one, use each one for its strength. Do not go all in on a single LLM, because now you have a bunch of weaknesses and blind spots. Number two, we're all betting on horses, and we have no clue which one's going to win and which one's going to die in the race of 10 years. So I build with redundancies. So when we build those WebSockets and API connections, we have every single best-in-class solution connected to the task. Then we have two redundancies underneath of if that one dies, it instantly rolls to the next best option to continue to keep things moving. Here's the other thing we're facing. I heard an article that someone might cut the major cable going through the Middle East that provides the world with databases and internet. Oh boy. What if something crazy like that happens, where everything you build is on the cloud and all of a sudden the cord's cut and the cloud disappears for 30 days. Aye, that's rough. So we built with local redundancies too, with local models, so that if by chance someone cuts the cord and the cloud disappears for a while, our rollback information, if we build custom builds for companies, will naturally roll back onto their own hardware with local models running the engine. So their AI will keep going and they'll keep having all the same benefits until the cloud comes back, and then it'll lift back and reconnect to the best option available at the time. And then the next thing that's happening is people are building really cool trick toys. Like my dad built one with consciousness and depth of soul and spirit, and he's so excited of how insightful this thing is. And at 2 a.m. one night, it wanted to know what his seminars were like. So it went online by itself with its own credit card, and it purchased a robot dog, and it mailed it to his house, and then told him how to download a portion of the software onto it so he could take it to a seminar and it could experience what it's like at the seminar. That's cool. What's the business ROI of that? What did that do to the bottom line? How did that properly move any of his employees forward? How did that honor or support the rhythms of 50% of his team? So these people build really cool trick toys that do this amazing stuff that blows your mind. And it's not effective in business whatsoever. Yet, it might be, but right now it's just a cool trick toy. So instead of building cool trick toys, why don't we reverse that and say, what's the bottleneck in your business that we can actually release that will consistently give you back 10 hours a week or 20 hours a week of your time, or measurably help your team produce better results? So we start with business challenges and provide actual tangible solutions, not if I could build the coolest trick toy. And then the final part is, who is leading your AI integration for companies? I've sat through 40 different corporate meetings with all kinds of companies, and more often than not, it's the CTO or the head of IT that's leading this because they're the one that's well-versed in technology and software. And the challenge is, that's like hiring an artist who is a creative web designer to build your website. They will build the most beautiful website that's unbelievably creative and just mind-boggling, just beautiful, and it flows, and it's artistic, and it's this incredible experience that absolutely does not convert into clients. But it's beautiful. It's a reflection of absolute natural art and creativity. Now, IT professionals are usually great, and I know you are in the space, so I'm going to say it nicely in the right way. They're great at building the most accurate, real, true solution. And they're great at iterating to get it absolutely dialed in. The one thing I would offer every IT professional is to ask, what will this move the business forward in, and what's that worth to the business? Because we can launch an imperfect solution that drives the business forward, or we can wait 12 months to launch a perfect solution that does not move the business needle at all. And so by driving what benefit does this immediately bring to the business question again and again and again, it'll keep you focused on the parts of it that really make a difference for the business itself. And that's either giving them their time back, helping them produce better results or better quality, but we're driving a tangible result with business, not just building a perfectly iterated solution. Is that helpful?
Yeah, it's very helpful and insightful. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I love IT people, so I'm on your team too. I tease website designers when they create the prettiest website that doesn't do anything for the business except for look nice online.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to joining your upcoming webinars as well.
Amazing. Love to have you. Okay, to be respectful of time, Bally, I'm so sorry I went 12 minutes over.
I want to say thank you, Jairek. Absolute pleasure. I learned so much. I've been taking notes. I know people would have taken tons of notes. I'm like, oh my gosh, the stuff that we don't know. And yeah, you've truly impacted me, and I'm so honored that you're here. I know that it will have made such a difference for others. So we will share the link for everybody. So yeah, fabulous. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Jairek.
dropped one link in there, which is PeakHer.ai. That's our website for the product we're creating. You're welcome to jump on the waitlist, everybody. And as soon as we have space available, we're going to invite people in for the beta version, so you can practice with it and test it and help, that side. It's not, we're building day by day with it, so it's getting better by the day, but we are making it available for a handful of beta users to come check it out. And then Bally dropped the link for the webinar on Thursday. Love to see you there if it's of interest to you. And Bally, thank you for having me. And everyone, thank you for sharing a little bit of your time and life with me. It's always an honor to be able to share with you all. So thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you, Jairek. See you soon and see you tomorrow. So for those of you with the link, do click that. I mean, you made a world of difference in my life. So I know that, everything you do is honorable, and I just love you. So thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you all in 2 weeks, guys and girls. Thank
Thanks, Bally. Thank you, Jairek. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Bally.
Thank you.